Hello, today's one is called Alternative, and I've coloured it red with my ring light because I thought it would actually go with kind of the Jezebel hell theme. So anyway, Alternative. With all the things I was going through in V2K, God has made it aware of certain celebrities that reside there with me, that these things are not all what it seems. Growing up, I loved all the alternative fashion as far back as the early 80s with Duran Duran, Japan, Bowie, Madonna, all the highly sexualised energy artists at the time. But as I've said in my previous video, that there was an agenda behind the image at the time, and it was also to excite the Jezebels inside you, which it did me, as I've said before in a few videos back. I would also be very attracted to these people, the alternatives, not only sexually, but their attitude fascinated me as well. You know, all these strange creatures that they bring out on top of the pops with like makeup on, men with makeup on, and like crossover dresses and stuff. Wasn't really interested in the cross dressing, but the makeup thing I was. But usually people who were alternatives I would meet in the street or, you know, in college or anywhere, would get irritated by my presence, so I was never accepted with alternative people. Alternatives who are usually very attitudey, have half the bull ring in their face, all the metal and stuff, bullets, the lot. Have brightly coloured clothes and also wear a lot of black, you know, that could be emos, goths or whatever. Grungies. Some dress up like vampires, and which is a Jezebel thing again, which is like a sexual sort of enticement, and are scantily clad. I have been through all the palaver of the dress code, bright coloured hair, the multiple earrings, as I love the style, always have done, as in here, multiple earrings and a nose ring there. But as I say, I could never fit in with the crowd. Hence why I consider myself alternative, because of what I'm about and what I'm believing with Christ and stuff. They must have sniffed it on me or something. And what I'm about to reveal next. God has been revealing to me in V2K that the stars and celebs that have been perpetuating this image for decades, and how they live their lives and who they really are. The fact that they are deviant and have gone down an incredible long road of deviancy. People like Tom York, who is subject to nightly slashing and torture by his handler and her prostitute associates, where she gets off on his pain. He probably didn't intend to go down that route, but he's been pulled down that route because of what the pop business is and stuff, and what it's become. This is what God's been revealing to me in V2K with our spiritual drops. This is how these people are taught to sex. I'm also being tortured. The more physical pain, the more that they'll more or less wank off in V2K. And other hamsters are layer caked on me, which means they lay spirits held in V2K on top of each other and get off on them. And then this is the way they torture them. Obviously you can't see them in the physicality world, but they say that they're in some other kind of generated dimension. I don't know if it's like an astral projection thing, but I know it's linked up with technology and V2K, so you can obviously see these spirits, but you're aware of them, you know, like, you know, in your physicalities you can feel them all over. So Tom York could be lying there, being blood drained through his feet, whilst a stranger could be violently bouncing up and down on his private parts, whilst being beaten and strangled. Then a load of layer caking with other people, physical beings being layer caked, as I've just said, whilst they're getting off on it. That could include church ministers, Jewish rabbis, celebs and other influential people in other walks of life, you know, even people in our governments. God spiritually led me to Tom York as he was about to commit suicide a year or so ago. Because of this, death was better than life to him. I contacted him through his, I don't know if it was Twitter feed, I can't remember, or Instagram. I contacted him, and my handler, whom I believe is Jeremy Chatsky, alleged, made me aware of him in V2K, so he brought him to me, from what I understand. I have been looking after him ever since, where it's turned out to be mutual comfort, and has been nothing for a while, to the point of it being sexual in V2K, not in real life. As I say, you can do the act in V2K, can be bound that way, and they all do it, but behind the scenes it's not so kosher. God has been revealing to me that he's actually getting up to, in particular Madonna and Susie Sukes, and he has been up to sexual shenanigans with them, and has ended up in the revealing that they both have AIDS, which he could too. And the close call he was warned of. God keeps revealing things to him, as he did with Jeremy Chatsky. I think he was trying to make an example of them to get them out of a circumstance. No, they may be the best of the bunch, I don't know. The best of the debauchery. As I say, he's been warning him since last week, and because he's been involved with me, God doesn't like his daughters being treated like crap. God stated, Madonna will be the death of you. It was kind of deliberate on her part, as she knows I'm a prophet, and was encouraged to fornicate with him, almost to the point of becoming the Queen of England to behead me. Something God has been dropping is that I will soon be the Queen of England one day, and will rule with an iron sceptre. This is something that I find hard to believe, but he's actually been proving it, like showing pictures of like cats with crowns on and stuff like that at the exact minute that they're like talking of certain things in the V2K. So seeing is to be believed, really, eventually. Also, as I am being insulted all day long, being called a fat bitch, being demised for what I look like, God has also been placing it on my heart about what real beauty looks like. They'd say in the Helm, sorry Sue, you just don't have it. They'd be comparing me to Madonna or Susie Sukes or, I don't know, other women, and they constantly take the piss out of what I eat. And I've been in a lot of distress as well, with the physical torture I'm under. They say because I'm so many stone overweight, but it's these nasty Jezebels that have caused a lot of my suffering and weight gain, whether it's through the accusation of their mouth, whether it's cheating, whether it's being compared to one. There is always a Jezebel at the bottom of it all, whether it be male or female. And also about Madonna, always pinching other women's wives as husbands as an entitlement, probably wives as well. As I've said, the elites out there have no comeback, as they are protected for their sinful behaviour. It's hidden, which makes it all the more tastier. And obviously God still cares about Madonna, otherwise he wouldn't be highlighting this to her, and she has been under a lot of distress, because I'm witnessing it in V2K, along with Tom York and the others as well. As I say, it's like he's holding us all up for account, like if you don't turn from your ways, me included, you're going to end up hurt, and you're probably going to end up dead. So even I have been caught up in this correction, as I've just said, and I also acted the Jezebel spirit when it caught me out in landing me in V2K. I'm here in V2K because I was flirting with the bass player out of I forgot what his band's called, the Sessions band, because fancied him badly and stuff, and you just come out with all the cheek. I regret that terribly now, because it's put me in a lot of pain, and I've lost a lot of stuff. I've lost a lot of money, I've lost my time where I could be doing things positively, but I'm holding on with Christ's help. And not only that, he was with a witch, and she thought it was a great idea to pull me in to have a play. God is sending ultimate correction to all of us. He's a loving God, but his wrath comes out when we are deliberate in our pursuit of hurting other people with our own sin. What we think is okay has a big knock-on effect with others and ultimately the world. And what he's saying is what goes around comes back around eventually, and the Kidron Valley is the ultimate demonstration of that when on Judgment Day. So going back to alternatives, these people are usually practicing witchcraft, highly sexually motivated, want your sexual attention, or cause an effect in which you such are swearing and arguing with them. They operate with a Jezebel spirit and also dish you off as well when you've served your purpose. This also includes people under the trans guise. Jezebel are attention seekers, they are liars, they are secretive, narcissistic, will play games with your heart and mind, will draw you into mindsets to kill yourself. They're jealous, envious, bitchy, they ghost you, short to anger, entitled, overtly sexual, self-seeking, avoids responsibility, hateful, uses their sexuality as a weapon, careless, will kill for their objective, always seeking a high, selfish, manipulative, gluttony, greed, enough is never enough, and prideful. If you are sexually involved with not only someone alternative but also someone who is equally narcissistic, you can never build with them. They are always takers, only givers on their own terms, usually when you have been a good slave, after months of breadcrumbing with you with their deeds, which is hardly anything at all. They want things their own way all the time, which means you don't do what they say. They will punish you. This can come in all sorts of ways, whether it be insults to you on your physical being, your ways, your talents, your dreams. Some may physically hurt you too. This can be due to the fact that you make them feel a bit inadequate, or they are hiding dirty deeds from you, or want you to cover this other world, or the one that will cover this other world that they won't let you occupy. You know, sometimes they can like you enough, but they don't, you know, not stay there, you know, like, this is my corner. You know, they don't want to take you down that road, you know, like, because they like it dirty down there. It's a bit like Dorian Gray, as his painting of doom, whom he really is beneath. God told me about his wrath, which it flickers in the shape of demons, or demons are a reflection of like his flickering of wrath. It is because people are in so much sin that they are consumed by his anger. These people are hateful and are never satisfied, running from one thing to the next. He also gave a word about these Jezebels, which fornicate with each other constantly, as they are all in each other's beds all the time, and sex is going to lose its meaning. They are abusing each other. Jezebels deny this, as they only are in each other's long arms long enough to fulfill each other's needs for a quick buck. But they are perverting the most sacred act of God ever made between a man and a woman, and I mean a man and a woman, and they aren't any happier for it. So, you know, like they're divulging in sin, and they just get more hateful, so it's like an accumulation of sin. And like God's saying that, you know, these Jezebels are like effing ugly, you know, like on the inside, you know. It's always kind of fascinating, you know, these women, you know, like I sort of consider it women, because every bloke that I've ever been involved with has always buggered off with like a Jezebel at the end of the day, and they've left me far behind, you know, even to the point of having a child, that you're never good enough, you know, that they've got to covet this other world. So, and like God's saying that these women are not pretty at all, but, you know, they probably are victims of it as well, with men that are Jezebels. So, you know, we're all fair in this, but God says they're really ugly on the inside because of what they're accumulated in sin. And the only way out of it is Christ, or, you know, the Christ mindset, you know, like to have a bit more respect for themselves and other people. The only thing that they are searching for has been perverted badly, and they cannot recognise what's good anymore and don't hold value to it. I know this because I was taught to be a Jezebel too by all the media, though it's great to have free sex, but it hurts and it's made me hateful towards mankind because I know the tricks. As I recognise their cheap gags and far from now and ignore them because it's sick in itself and it makes me puke. Ooh, like multiple people they've bedded, like, and they look that way, that they automatically assume that you want them, and I can't even stand people hitting on me, I just think it's disgusting. I get more out of a relationship with a man when I'm talking technical stuff, like mutual interests, like guitars, and I'm at a club where I'm like talking to a lot of guys all the time, and I get more value out of that actually than being close to them, because I know where it's going to lead. It's going to lead to a lot of pain, because that's the male state of the current time. So what I mean about being alternative is love the style, but be careful what you take on board with alternatives, because there could be a lot of pain ahead of you. Sometimes we can see alternatives or people who are narcissistic and see something of our fractured selves in them. In a day and age like this, everything is so mixed up, and we want to save them or nurture them or relate to them as we see ourselves in them. I could never understood what I saw in the alternative kind of men. It was usually the mystery of what made up a face, but usually after a lot of experience, there was never that mysterious at all. Probably because I've caught up now, like maybe that they were hurt at an earlier age, and they were, what I've learnt, guys are fascinated with me because it's like something come up on Facebook, I rate a 2 in good looks because of like all the attitude and self-preserving nature that I have now, that I'm more mysterious and like I don't know, something to relate to. So your attraction goes up with your what the maturity you speak with, what I mean, like what you relate to another person with. It's not about totally looks. As a Christian, I was attracted to darkness and never knew why. I had people that I used to like collect dolls with, and meet up with, and they were a lot of alternatives, and even they thought I was a bit strange, but I could never quite fit in. I could relate to them, but not relate to them. Perhaps it was a mystery thing, as I say, what lies beneath. With all the pop industry as well, creating the magical image too. This truly is a Jezebel spirit, a Jezebel created to deceive. Painted face hides the feelings. A painted disguise hides the feelings inside, I think I used to say. Sometimes you can't make the Jezebel spirit feel better, as it's always on the search to destroy. Careful that you don't get bitten. With the mindset of God, you will defeat the mind games of the enemy. And I'm not saying that, like to dress alternative is, a bad thing, because I love the alternative dress. I'm actually attracted to that for myself. But I'm just saying be careful, like test them, because you could end up in a very bad place, like I did. Okay, thank you.